Hi, my name's Elaine Ross. I'm the Global Brand Director for Aquila Catamarans. We're here in beautiful Cannes, France, all aboard the all-new 46 Aquila Coupe. So join me and step aboard for a tour of this amazing vessel. Stepping back into the aft cockpit, just want to cover some general specifications on board the 46 Coupe. Length overall is 47 foot 4 inches. She has a beam of 17 foot 11 inches, a draft of 3 foot 7 inches, and an air draft height of 11 feet. That's meaning from the waterline to the top of the hardtop. That excludes your radar mast. So if you do put a radar mast on board this boat, you need to accommodate a little extra height on that above 11 feet. Powering this amazing flagship 46 Coupe is you have two options, either the Volvo Penta DPI 480 inboard stern drives, or you can go with the Mercury Verado V12 600 horsepower. The version that we're standing on board here is powered by the Volvo Penta DPI 480 horsepower. As you can see, it's a very clean aft cockpit, with or without inboards or outboards. So very spacious aft cockpit. But follow me, I'm going to step forward and we're going to take a look at some of the key features of this aft cockpit. One of them, primary ones, being the bar top area, because it really connects your different social zones between the aft cockpit, your bar area, and the galley or salon area. So you have seating for 3 here at the bar. Additionally, you have the ability to rotate your seating at the sun lounger forward or aft. So in this position facing forward, it allows your companions or your guests on board to connect with those sitting at the bar top area and those entertaining in the salon or galley space. If we follow me further around, we're going to take a look at some additional key features on the port side and the aft cockpit. First, below me here, we have a little cubby, which is our connection for our shore power. We also have a freshwater washdown hose so that you can rinse your aft deck if it gets salty. Above me here, we have our push buttons for our sun awning, our sunshade. So it's in, out, very simple to operate. It is multi-position, so you can have it at the length that you want. This will be all the way extended. So a very nice feature to get yourself out of the sun. Going forward just a little, or aft just a little bit, you'll notice that there are some recessed steps in here. And what this is, which is really neat being on board a coupe, is we have a wide walkway, a decently wide walkway, so that you can actually walk on the exterior of the boat all the way to the bow. And it's very simple to get up. You'll see that we've got a big beefy handrail up here, stainless steel. So you just grab this, step up, and then you're able to step forward and walk down the gunnel. So very easy to get up and down and utilize that space. Comes in very handy if you're docking, you need to set your fenders, or simply just get up there. One thing I will mention that you won't see, which is built into the profile of the hardtop, is there's actually a recessed handrail built into the hardtop. It's a stainless steel, so when you actually step up there, you have somewhere to grab with your hand and then walk the length of the boat all the way down to the bow. So very nice design engineering feature that Aquila has accommodated. Additionally, over here, just behind me, we have side boarding gates that come standard on board at both the port and the starboard side. Very simple to operate. Push button in, swivel up, open. You can get inboard or outboard on board the boat. And that again is standard on both the port and starboard side. One other feature that Aquila has taken into consideration is little ones on board. It's very important to us, for those that are family members, to little ones or little pets, is keeping those safe on board the boat. So as you'll see on port and starboard side and down the center line of the boat, we've got built-in gates. They're very simple to operate. You simply pick up, swivel forward, and pop down. And that way your little ones, whether they're kids or pets, can't get to the aft of the boat while you're underway. So a very nice feature. You also have, as we move back here, on both the port and starboard side, you've got your city water connect, and then you have your emergency fuel shutoff valves. As we move a little bit further aft, on both the port and starboard side, you've got amazing sun loungers. Again, this position is facing forward so that you're connecting the aft sun lounger or seating area to the bar top to the salon. But this also has ability to face aft so that you can take a look at the beautiful scenery around here, or when your family members or guests on board are taking a swim. If you don't want it in this position, you can actually pull it up and then lay it flat, which gives you a little bit more length, and then you can really stretch out and take a nice siesta in the afternoon. So very, very simple to operate again, just flip forward and so forth. So follow me, we're gonna move over to the starboard side and take a look at some of the key features on the starboard side of the aft cockpit. I'm 5'9", and you'll see how deep the engine well is and how easy it is to access your mechanical systems on board. So you have a built-in step ladder just down here. You also have dual functionality of this handrail, so it's very easy to get down. You simply step down onto the built-in ladder, 2 steps down, and then you're at floor level. So built-in floor here. Again, I'm 5'9", deck is about 3/4 of the way up my body. If I spread my arms like an eagle, I cannot touch side to side, and it's definitely deeper, much deeper than that, fore and aft also. So very generous size engine wells on both port and starboard side. So I'm gonna step up and we're gonna take a look at a couple other features. In front of me is our optional grill, Kenyon grill. So this is an induction grill. You can also have an option for a gas plancha if that's what your preference is, but we highly recommend the Kenyon grill top induction cooktop. So a very generous size to do your cooking on board while you're at anchor. Wish we were doing that today in this phenomenal setting, but you also have an option either to go with a fridge or you can go with an ice maker. So very generous size fridge, external fridge back here in the aft cockpit. One of the nice features here to extend, because we obviously have limited countertop space here to keep the companionway open into the salon. So what the engineers have designed is a very simple pop-up countertop. This gives you additional prep area, which is a very nice feature to have on board. It is held in place with a magnet at the bottom. So again, very secure. It's not going to flap around while you're underway. You have some built-in cup holders. You have a water inlet both on port and starboard to fill up your primary water tank. And then you have 2 diesel tank infills on both port and starboard. And then we're going to move our way back into the aft cockpit, or the very transom of the boat. And what you're going to see here is a very neat feature. This is a Bessanzoni davit system, so it actually folds into itself. It lifts up, it's a hydraulic system. Again, this is an option. So if you do want to put a small jet ski on the back of the boat or a small tender, it's a great option to add this onto your option list when you build out your boat. You're going to see the chocks are in place. This is built out for a small tender. We don't have the tender with us today, but essentially what the system does is it folds out of itself, and then there's a piping that comes out that you extend, lock into place, and then you use a hydraulic handheld function to swivel, pick up, swivel, and hoist and lower your tender or jet ski into the water. So a very nice compact system. We love it because it gives you the ability to really walk around the transom, take full advantage of your aft deck. Moving around, center line of the boat, what we have installed and what we've carried down, and now you see synonymous on most of the Aquilas, almost all, is our very well thought out integrated swim ladder system. You have very big beefy handhelds to actually get in or out. So if you're just swimming or diving, you know, you got scuba gear on, you know, this is a very nice ladder. It's not a rinky-dink ladder. You know, it's not one of those small little fold ones that go on the aft transom. This is a very generous size with nice teak-graded steps on it. Very easy to operate, as I'll show you. So you lift up the cabin here. So we're gonna push down on the ladder, raise it, lock it in place, lift up the safety latch, slide it, and you'll see this little clip on here actually recesses behind your last step, and that's going to prevent the ladder from swinging out while you're underway. Moving into the salon now, salon and galley. There's some really nice features that Aquila has incorporated, some new innovations, and just general aesthetics and layout and flow of being able to go from your aft deck all the way to the bow, but then utilizing this full interior and taking full advantage of the almost 18-foot beam. So what you're going to see here, you've got an L-shaped settee that goes around dining table. This actually does lower down and recess into the floor. So if you do want to open up your salon area more and use it as a bigger social zone, you certainly have that capability. Right now, the table is in the raised position. So it's set up for dinner or lunch, and you kind of get a feel of how many people you're able to sit around the table. You can also put some loose chairs, up to 3 or 4 around this, so you can theoretically have seating for up to probably 6 to 8, I would say, in a tight squeeze at 8, but generous seating nonetheless. You have a full built-in galley area here, induction cooktop by Kenyon also. In this cupboard here, you've got a microwave, so that comes in very handy. And then without opening up every cabinet, but just to give you a sense of the idea, cabinetry storage space is critical to Aquila, so we build in as much storage as theoretically as possible from our designers. It's very important for us, so if you are taking this coupe on a long journey for a couple of weeks or a month, you have tons of storage space on board to put all your dry goods and your essentials to make that trip and be very comfortable on board. So we've got tons of storage below the cabinet, below the countertop space. We've got a built-in rubbish bin or trash bin, depending on what you call it. We also have a Lazy Susan, which is really cool, double-shelved Lazy Susan. In here, we've got some deep cupboard space. All of them are soft touch close, so when you do open them, you're able to slam closed, and they do close. To activate the safety pin or the latch pin, you just give it a nice little nudge in, and it closes. Forward of the cooktop, we have a refrigerator, generous sized refrigerator. Top shelf is actually a freezer. So you have ability to put frozen goods in here also. Above me, you're gonna see your recessed air conditioning. Again, this boat is set up to be air conditioned or heated. So depending on the climate that you're boating in, whether you're up in Scandinavia or down in the Med or the Bahamas or Florida, you know, obviously you want air conditioning, but if you're up in Scandinavia, heat's gonna be very important to you. So this is a dual purpose boat. Again, we're in a coupe, so you have the ability to close everything in and really increase your air movement through air conditioning or heating and be very climate controlled inside. Underneath the settee area, just over here, the boat comes standard with 4 200 amp hour AGM batteries, but there is an option to upgrade to lithium ion package on board, which extends your battery capacity quite significantly. You also have the option, depending on size, which type of generator you want to put on board. So again, pairing a generous sized generator with your lithium or AGM bank really gives you the ability to stay away from shore for an extended period of time. Moving forward, you will also see we have big salon side windows. The 46 coupe comes with electrically actuated blinds. We're not going to close them right now, but the blinds actually come down through a push button right here. So it's very easy to operate. Actuate them and they come down, actuate, go up. You can also louver them to let ambient light in if that's your preference. Moving forward, generous countertop space here. Lots of prep area that you can work with. Moving around, obviously we move into our navigation center. So in our navigation center, we're gonna jump in there, take a look at all the bits and bobs that make up our navigation center. But one of the really neat features while we're on this side is actually to show you that this is electrically actuated, so you can move your seating forward and aft. So a very nice feature that Aquila has incorporated into this. So that depends how big you are or tall you are. Comes in handy when you're trying to get closer or further away from the steering wheel, or for your feet rest if you're a co-pilot's on board. So follow me and we're going to take an in-depth look at the navigation center. It's beautifully laid out. You have 3 captain's chairs, or a captain and 2 co-pilot chairs. You originally saw that these 2 are electrically actuated fore and aft. Your captain is independent of that. It also is electrically actuated fore and aft by a control right here at the helm station. You also have bolsters on board the captain seats or co-pilot seats. So these fold up and fold down. Again, you can pull this forward. There's an integrated footrest down below. We've got a gigantic or very large sunroof. This is your controls for your sunroof. So to open it, you simply have a push button. The sunroof lifts up and folds all the way back to back here. And then to close it, you simply push a button down and it goes down, recesses down, and it is watertight around with the seal. We have our spotlight control here. Very simple, turn on, turn off, and then you can control your directional angle through this toggle. Inboard or outboard of that, we've got our Volvo Penta display in this configuration with the Volvo DPIs. If you have Mercury outboards, this is where your Mercury control will go, or vessel view. Outboard of that, we've got our C-Zone. So Aquila, we use C-Zone as the backbone for our operations of the boat. So we can control pretty much anything on board the boat through the C-Zone control. We have some configurations that make it very simple for our clients. When you step on board, you can hit on board and that's going to activate your lights, your systems on board. If you go out to sea, there's an at sea button that you simply push down and hold until it beeps, and that activates your navigation equipment, your navigation lights, and so on. When you're leaving the dock, we have docked away with shore power, or there's another feature, if you don't have shore power, just docked away, and that basically puts a boat to bed, sets all the systems at rest, so you have limited amperage draw from your battery system. It's a very nice system, C-Zone, and very fully integrated within all of our yachts and coupes. Forward of that, you're going to see obviously two very large Raymarine MFDs. So Raymarine is our OEM provider. If you are partial to having Garmin or Furuno or Simrad, we do work with those manufacturers also. But from a manufacturing standpoint, Raymarine is our preferred OEM provider, so that's typically what we install in the vast majority of our Aquilas, and they do a phenomenal job for us, and Raymarine is a great partner of Aquila. What I am holding here is actually a very new feature for Aquila. This is a Goosey steering wheel. It has some really nice features, and really the main feature that I like about it is that you've got rubber dimples back here that you can push to control your functionality of what you want to do, whether you want to turn your radio volume up or down or control your horn or different features. On your LCD screen here also, you can toggle through. You can see what each of the buttons do on the dimples back here. You can also see your speed, your knots or miles per hour, or your pitch or your trim angle. So there's a lot of functionality built into this Goosey steering wheel. It's quite amazing, really nice feature that they've come out with us. Below, we've got access to our windshield wipers. They are freshwater wash down also, so very easy to operate your primary windshield wiper. To the right of that, or outboard side, we've got our ignition switches for the Volvo system. So ignition on, off, start, stop, etc. We have our Fireboy automatic engine room depression system if needed. And then we have switches for our windlass up and down. So you can operate if you are single-handed, or you want to operate it from back here, you certainly have that ability. You have your throttle controls, whether it's Volvo or Mercury. This is exactly where they go, so very nice ergonomics, a very, very good position. You have your VHF all the way outboard. And then this boat, I'm just going to jump up here so the camera can see it better, is our Volvo joystick system. And this would also be similar with the Mercury throttle system, would be the Mercury joystick system. It's a very, very nice feature, but I can't speak enough about driving this boat. Very, very simple to operate. One thing I get asked all the time, well, what's the difference between your smaller coupe, your 42 coupe, and the 46 coupe? I would equate the 46 coupe to more like driving a Bentley. A 42 coupe is a very sporty boat. When you step on board the 46 coupe and you take her out in the ocean, this is a very planted boat. She runs phenomenal and just very, very comfortable. You have a beautiful line of sight from your captain's seats. You can see down your gunnels very easily. You can see to the transom. We do offer a camera system. This version, the owner did not equip it with a camera system, but you do have an aft camera system also that can be optioned. And short of that, amazing boat from navigation to the rest of the boat. So we're going to move forward. We're going to take a quick look at the cabins, and then we're going to step up into the bow. Moving down into the primary cabin, we're going to take a look at how generous the volume is here. So again, I'm 5'9", so not the tallest guy, but not the shortest either. And you can see I've got plenty of headroom here. This is a modified king size bed, or an island style king size bed. It's pushed up against the bulkhead here, so you have access up until this point. You have outlets down here, outlets on either side of the bed. At your pillows, you also have your conductive phone chargers on both sides of the bed. You've got a small drawer for storage, beautiful headboard, so lots of room here, night reading lights. Also, what's really nice about this cabin space is it's facing outboard, so when you are in bed, you have this beautiful hall-side window that you can take a look out and see your outside scenery. Above, you've got a compression blind, so this does come down, hold in place all the way down or up. Very simple to operate on both sides. Moving further aft, we've got storage down below the bed, so a drawer here, and then you have additional storage drawer space below here. You have your climate control for either air conditioning or heat, and then controls for your light switches. Above me to the right, or inboard side, you can close this in and create privacy. It's very simple to operate, so it's held in by magnets. You can close this door, and then there's a sliding hatch above that closes in, and then you can lock it also, so that way you do have your private space down below. We'll take a look at the head. We have a single vestibule sink, storage below, cabinetry above, and then both ensuite heads in both the primary and the guest cabin are freshwater flush toilets, electric freshwater flush toilets. Now that's important because if you use salt water sometimes, depending on how clean your salt water is, it can tend to have an odor, but with fresh water, you're generally very safe to have non-odor. So that's why Aquila utilizes freshwater flush toilets. Stepping forward to give you an idea on the size of the shower, it's a very generous shower size inside. So again, I'm 5'9", so I have plenty of elbow room, plenty of room both inboard and outboard side. You have a porthole hatch here. You have a wand shower and nice teak-rated flooring. Behind me here, just inside the bathroom or head, we've got generous storage below here, and behind the door we've got a full hanging wardrobe, so a lot of storage within the primary cabin. So we're going to step over into the port sponson and take a look at the VIP guest cabin. Stepping down into the VIP guest cabin, you'll notice that the bed faces from the bow to the stern. This is because in the primary cabin, we take full advantage of the bed going over the tunnel and giving a king-size mattress to the primary cabin as the owner of the boat. In the guest cabin, the bed faces bow to stern and is a queen-size bed, so a little bit smaller of a bed, but still extremely generous. The cabin in and of itself is still extremely generous. It's very large, plenty of headroom in here. You've got storage throughout, so below the bed, you've got two drawers. To the right of me or to aft, you've got hanging locker space, again with drawer space down below. You've got bookshelves on the outboard side. You've got generous hull-side windows, so from that view standpoint, you've got a beautiful view when you're sitting in your bed reading a magazine or your iPad or whatnot. You can look outboard and you have an amazing view. Again, you also have the ability to close this in and make it a private simply by the door and then sliding the overhead over, and you've got privacy within. Further aft, you've got an ensuite head with a separate shower. So a very, very generous cabin, very well appointed, very luxurious, blinds. And so anyone that's in this cabin is going to be super comfortable, as they would be in the primary cabin. So stepping up, we're going to transition over to the bow. Okay, now we're back on the bow and we're going to go through some features in the bow area. As I step through, you notice that I step through a large companionway here. Overhead, this closes, watertight seal. Below me here, or behind me, excuse me, we've got magnetic doors, so this closes, the hatch closes down, and it's watertight. Below that, we've got a little cooler space that is very nice to put some drinks and so forth, ice and items in. And going above, back to the hatch, this is a carbon fiber hatch, something that Aquila specializes in. is a manufacturer of carbon fiber composites. We do that throughout. And so this is a very beefy, strong door made out of carbon fiber. So a very, very strong door. The other items just quickly that I want to touch on. So all of our upholstery is also done in-house, as well as our stainless steel. If you take a look at our stainless steel as well as our upholstery, it's just phenomenal, top of the line. Stainless steel, you're not going to see any welds. It's all polished. It's extremely, extremely good looking and robust stainless steel that you'll find throughout the Aquila lineup. But specifically on this Aquila 46 Coupe, we've got the tan upholstery on this version. We also offer a gray. You have armrests built in with cup holders. So 1, 2, 3 on the starboard side, and then on the port side you've got one armrest with cup holders. Also, both on outboard sides you do have an induction phone charger, so simply put your phone there, which is a very nice feature. If you are sitting on the outboard side on either the port or starboard, just some of the finer details that we pay attention to is also a hand grab area, so you're very secure in here. You are low down, but if you are going through any sort of rough water and you want to hold on, there's certainly a place to do that, as well as your armrest that folds down. This boat is equipped with a premium sound system on board, so you're going to see speakers throughout the bow area. We also have a flip-up table, so if you are up here and you're having sundowner drinks, you simply can flip this up and you've got a nice prep area, and you can have a beautiful sundowner al fresco area for a drink or a light snack. Behind me on the outboard sides, you do see 2 deck hatches. Those are into your primary cabin on the starboard side and your guest cabin on the port side. So that allows for additional ventilation into the cabin if you don't want to run your air conditioning or heat. Center line of the boat, moving forward to the bow, we've got our ground tackle gear here. Access, very simple to open and operate. Obviously you've got your anchor, you've got your control for your windlass here. Again, you also have a secondary control at the helm station, and then we've got anchor and rode, so you can deploy if you are at anchor. Very simple to get in and out here. Lastly, what's incredible about the bow is if you do want to have an option for a sunshade, there is a manual sunshade system. You can see some of the inserts this owner has option for it, but there are poles that go in, and then you have a nice canvas area over the top. Lastly, I just want to demonstrate the size of this. Again, you're able to step up. You've got a very nice casting area up here if you are doing any fishing, or if you want to do additional sunbathing, you can lay out here. You also have the ability to walk all the way around, as I'll quickly demonstrate. As I mentioned earlier, we do have access, integrated handrails up here, and you can walk all the way down the gunnel. So I'll just demonstrate that quickly. You've got a gutter here that you're able to put your hand in, grab that, and then stepping a little bit aft, you have a recessed handrail back here. So you can walk all the way from the bow, all the way to the stern on the outside. Quite a nice engineering piece where you can walk all the way down the gunnel on both the port and starboard side from the bow to the aft cockpit. But you can certainly just as easily step down, walk through your salon to the aft cockpit and back to the bow. So thank you for joining me on the tour of the Aquila 46 Coupe. If you'd like to learn more, you can visit us online at aquilaboats.com, or you can find one of your local Aquila dealers throughout the world. Thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you on the water.